But we have another trade that the Warriors could pull off if they wanted to go a different direction.
Yeah, that's Clint Capella and the sixth pick for the second pick. This is kind of an overvalue of the second pick because you're moving down 4 slots, but you're picking up Clint Capella with it. And the reason the Hawks do this is if they're just high on Wiseman, if they just think he could be a DeAndre Ayton, Joel Embiid type player, they pull this off. It just depends on how the Hawks view Wiseman.
Yeah, so this would basically be the Hawks, like you said, being super high on Wiseman and potentially taking a chance at putting together the best point guard center combo in the league.
Mhm.
And one of the most exciting young cores in the league, which they already have. And then for the Warriors, they get the center that fits perfectly into their team, and they still keep a top 6 pick, able to draft a player that can help them win right now. Like you said, the worst isn't instant except for the Warriors, but for the Hawks, trading Clint Capella, who hasn't even played a game for them yet, is probably not going to happen. But it honestly, it depends. Like you said, so many opinions vary on Wiseman and LaMelo Ball throughout the league, and if some teams are high on Wiseman, if the Hawks are one of them, I can see this happening.
Yeah, the reason I like this because I'm high on Wiseman is because now you have a young point guard, Trae Young. You have a young shooting guard, Kevin Huerter. You have a young small forward, DeAndre Hunter. You have a young power forward, John Collins. You have a young center in
Yeah,
Wiseman, and then you have a
yeah,
young sixth man in Cam Reddish.
yeah,
Like that six could be together for 10 years and win
yeah,
3 championships, and like they could dominate the league. And it's like the big six. It's like remember the Fab Five back in the day with NCAA. This could be like the big six in the NBA, and it could be a worth a risk. It's just is the Hawks front office as high as Wiseman as we were?
yeah. So and also the Hawks, even though they're not going to make any noise in the playoffs, they're probably looking at a playoff spot next season in the East.
Yeah,
Um, and if you just swap out Capella for a Wiseman, their chances probably go a little bit lower, just because obviously Capella's a veteran and makes that defense instantly a lot better.
yeah.
But long term, I think this is probably the move long term for them.
And something that's underrated that people aren't bringing up is Capella's on a 3-year deal. So next offseason, if they get Wiseman, that's like $10 million they're saving,
Yeah,
which is potentially two like superstars. So now you name those 6 players that I named, and you add a Kawhi Leonard, and you add another superstar, and we're talking about a dynasty here. We're talking about multiple championships,
yeah,
like three-peats, four-peats. Like we're talking about a crazy team. So if the Hawks pull this off, like the cap space, and if they sign a free agent, like oh man, this Atlanta Hawk team could be crazy.
this would be a really interesting trade, and honestly, I kind of hope it happens because I think seeing Trae Young with John Collins and Wiseman would be kind of one of the most exciting young trios, just trios period in the league.
And people are underestimating how much of a attraction they're going to be in the free agency
Yeah, yeah,
because they suck right now. But people have to remember Trae Young averaged 29 and 9,
yeah.
and he's on a rookie deal. So you add two, he had two
And
maxes next to him.
at the same time, while young Collins, uh, Herter, Hunter, Reddish, Wiseman is a really good young core. Trae Young was the only ball dominant player out of all those players,
Yeah,
right? So you could easily add another ball dominant high level free agent to that and not really screw anything up.
yeah, and it's like they don't even need to add two, which they can. They could just
Yeah,
add one big free agent,
yeah.
and in my opinion, they become like a title favorite. Like that's how good this young core is.
Within a couple of years, I can definitely see that a title
Yeah,
favorite. Thanks for watching. Listen to the Stretch the Floor podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, and follow us on Instagram.